Did you catch any of the oldest of old schools of your broadcasts from back in the day? Did you catch any of those, Jim?
I did, and every time one of them would come on, ESPN and Golf Channel both were replaying old Masters telecast, and I'm now an old guy, so I've been around for so many of them, and what a blessing it's been to have 34 Masters broadcasts in the bank. But as they were replaying the likes of 1986 and Jack Nicklaus's historic six-screen jacket, I was flooded with people remarking that either they didn't know that I dated back that far, or, man, you look so young back then, meaning you look really old now. But, yes, I caught the 86 rebroadcast, of course, the 97 Win for the Ages by Tiger. I had never watched that again.
No way.
Rich, so I'd never seen the rebroadcast. I'd seen the clip when he puts out at 18.
Sure.
1,000 times over, but I had never watched the broadcast, so I enjoyed getting lost in that for a few hours.
Hey, Jim, I get, instead of the you look older, like what happened to your hair, I get a lot of that. And I'm stealing myself for the Last Dance documentary on Jordan that ESPN's going to no doubt have maybe some of my SportsCenter highlights from that Last Dance season. I'm getting ready, stealing myself for those texts and calls from people.
You have to take those as a badge of honor, though, that you were there.
Yes.
That your career spanned that kind of history. At least that's the way I look at it. I mean, I still can't believe it. Almost when I looked at the 86 Masters rebroadcast, I was 26 years old at that time. And Frank Cherkinian, the legendary late producer and director for CBS, regarded as the founder of golf television, the fact that he entrusted me to be on his broadcast,
right?
Like I'm 60 now, and I don't get it. I don't know what he saw. I'm being serious here. How in the world do you take a guy that's not even 4 years graduated from college and put him on the 70th hole of the biggest golf event in the world? I can't explain it. I was nervous that day, but I was almost more nervous watching it at the age of 60 to hear, what might be leaving my lips back then.
I love that.
I wasn't for sure what I had said, other than the bear has come out of hibernation. And I remember after I said that, after Nicklaus's pivotal putt on Sunday, that I was instantly just overcome with a lot of doubt and regret. I thought someone else had already said it in the broadcast. By the time you got to 16, there have already been announcers positioned from the 10th hole on. So there's been a lot of commentary. There's been a lot of things said. So as soon as I said it, I thought, why did you just repeat something that has already been uttered on this broadcast? So I was beating myself up a little bit. So a little bit after the broadcast, I went over to apologize to Frank, to Mr. Cherkinian. I was just trying to get back for the 87 match. I wanted to get the invite back. And I went over to, hat in hand, and said, I'm so sorry, Frank, that I re-laundered the line about the bear has come out of hibernation. He said, he had a big presence about him, even though he was a little short guy. He was like 5'5" with a booming voice, and he said, "Son, no one said it other than you. So you're going to be doing this next year. You might be doing this for a while now.
That's
Get
awesome.
the hell out of my office and shut up." So that was it.
Was Summerall in the tower? I mean, what was your relationship with him, Jim? What was it like?
Super strong with Pat. In fact, I'm so glad you brought up Pat. This is the way my mind works. I had no idea we were going to mention Pat.
Right.
Pat passed away, because I'll be thinking of him tomorrow when I wake up and I'll look at the calendar that it's April 16th. He died 7 years ago tomorrow.
Huh.
He died April 16th, 2013. I worked 10 years with Pat. Obviously, he was in the 18th tower for that 86 Masters. And I would go on and work golf as a regular member of Frank's broadcast team. And so I worked in 86, 7, 8, 9, 90, 91, 92, 93 with Pat. He did the 94 Masters and the West Coast Swing. So what's that? Maybe 8, 9 full years of, say, 18 to 20 golf tournaments a year. And that's a lot of time, not just on the air, but even better, being able to go out to dinner with Frank and Pat and Ken Venturi and that whole crew that I'd grown up watching as a kid, and now they're my colleagues. I'll tell you one quick story.
Sure.
I used to call him on the air Mr. Summerall. I was just that's just the way I was raised. I was a yes sir, no sir, Mr., Mrs. I didn't want to have the arrogance of thinking I could actually talk to him like we're equals, because I wasn't, and I'm still not. And so I originally, talking about my first year on the air, I just knee-jerk reaction was saying, let's go back to 18, Mr. Summerall. And finally, Frank called me in the office one day and again, just ripped me and said, you got to quit calling him Mr. Summerall. You're making us all sound like a bunch of old fools. It's Pat. I said, yes, sir, Mr. Chickini, and I've got that. Okay. But Pat was so kind and generous. And, of course, after he left CBS to go to Fox, to go there with John Madden, he still, in so many ways, was a member of the CBS family. And I'm not taking anything away from some great years he had at Fox, but he was a CBS guy.
Sure.
And he would be around. And once he retired, he was around. When we would have the occasion to go into Dallas, let's say for the Byron Nelson golf tournament, we had occasions where we would get together for dinner, and a lot of times these were dinners to, let's pay tribute to Pat. Let's get our entire crew, all the production and technical team members, and I just love Pat Summerall. My gosh, I mean, I still can't believe that I got to just sit across from him at a table on dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of occasions, and just listen to him tell a story or listen to him order his dinner. As only Pat could. I'll start with a salad and steak, medium rare. Just all those pauses. And it's really kind of, I just gave you a spin-off of a story that Pat used to say about Ray Scott.
Of course.
I know you and maybe a good portion of our audience knows that Ray Scott was one of the legendary voices of the NFL back in the early days and the Packer days and Star, Dollar, Touchdown, Green Bay. Well, Pat worked as an analyst next to Ray Scott. So, listen, Pat was naturally inclined to speak the way that we knew him on the air. But I think there was such a heavy influence of working alongside Ray Scott with an economy of words and a minimalist approach to description for a visual medium. And he would talk about Ray Scott ordering breakfast, bacon, eggs, over easy. And that was Pat.
I love it.
God love him.
Yeah, exactly. And his wife, Sherry, keeping his spirit alive with the Pat Summerall dinner every single
what
year at the
Cheryl
Super Bowl.
Leonardis does, and Sherry does with the Pat Summerall Award, with
every
all
year.
the things for St. Jude's. And you have been, my gosh, God bless you, Rich, for what you've done for that cause. And for that dinner every year at the Super Bowl
it's amazing.
It's an amazing event.
Yep, and we've got Tony Dungy on in our final hour. He's won the Summerall Award every year. I'm honored to have taken that home. I've seen you at tons of them, and this folks at CBS that support it, Ken Agard, and so many people that support that still. It is just remarkable.
I was lucky enough to be the honoree. One of the years the Super Bowl was in Phoenix.
You too.
And we weren't broadcasting it that year, but we were broadcasting the Phoenix golf tournament on that same weekend. So anyway,
it's amazing.
It was like one of those "this is your life" moments. And I mean, I looked out in the audience, and I saw everybody from my roommates in college. They flew in. I mean, all my family was there. Andy Rooney was there from 60 Minutes. I mean, it was like crazy. NFL distinguished legendary names that were, again, there out of respect for Pat Summerall primarily. It was just awesome.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.